Hey, hello, how are you doing? I think there's no avoiding anymore. Today we do have to open a can of worms and talk about one of the most controversial topics that I can think of. At least I find it rather controversial. That is, of course, artificial intelligence. As a designer, I'm always curious, so I, of course, try to find out a lot about it. I try to, like with any new tool that is available, try to see if it is any use to me. And yeah, I think the idea here is that I want to give you a fairly balanced view of the pros and cons, and then I will end up with my honest and totally biased opinion, as I usually do. So yeah, I was very curious in the beginning, and I tried to learn what it's all about, if it is something that I can use. And people keep telling me, why don't you use it? Because think about it. I do some renderings, and I put the boat on the water, and it looks lovely. But how about actually making the boat move on the water, which means I need some bow waves, and doing that with Photoshop and hand cutting and pasting there and draw is quite some work. And if I can just write a prompt and then I have it immediately, wow, marvelous! It would save me so much time. So I can think of cases where I would like to use it. And also in the beginning, as I said, I was very curious, so I tried to play a little bit around, see what it is. Got some programs for image creation, and I had a blast. It's funny. You just give the prompt, to business people shaking hands on the deal, and then you can start counting how many fingers each one has on each hand, and how up or down the arm, the elbow is. But that already made me think, because we do know for a fact, of course, that AI is very power hungry. It uses a lot of electricity. It uses a lot of water. I mean, people say cooling water is not really used. But yes, it is used, because it's warmed up, and therefore you can't just put it back into the river as if nothing has happened. You have to think, is it really a good idea to use all the resources that we have, and they are of course not unlimited, just for having a quick laugh? And the answer is probably no. I can understand if you are in medical research and you have a million samples to go through. The fact that AI can actually process a lot of data pretty quickly, and also recognize patterns easily, that is a very useful thing, and it should bring us closer to a cure for cancer, or for finding new vaccines. But using that to create a shrimp Jesus to have 1 million likes on social media, I don't think so. I think that can't be an appropriate use for it. And actually, come to think about it, I actually did work some 2 years ago with some software that was just about to be developed. That was no AI. It was basically rendering in the cloud, and I found it very useful. And the company that did it, Tytopia, they had a good program. The only problem was that they were relying on data centers as well, and the aforementioned shrimp Jesus basically occupied all the space. So data center power was not longer cheap, and therefore that program just ceased to exist. Anyway, I was still with the pros, was I not? What other good things are there? Yeah, I think I'm running out of ideas of what AI should be used for. And of course, so let me see. I don't want to, I know that I can talk about this now for the next 3 hours non-stop, and I don't want to take your time, so I think I leave it with this for now. So you see, you know, bit of controversy, some pros, some, you know, some things that you can make up your own mind. And then I leave the big rant, you know, why it's pure evil. I leave that, I think, for the next time. Hey, how about that for a cliffhanger? So, if you want to know more about the topic, then watch this space, subscribe if you haven't, so that you know when I'm coming up with the next video. And well, I see you then.